This is the injury report presented by NYU Langone Health. Jose Siri is one of the fastest dudes on the Mets, and now he's hoping for a fast recovery from a fractured tibia. So today, in today's injury report, we have Dr. Guillem Gonzalez-Lomas of NYU Langone Sports Medicine Center on when Siri can get back to the action. Doctor, I was about to ask Siri about Siri, but I have you on here, so that's a lot better. How you feeling today, Doc?
I'm good. I was gonna make that joke, so
Okay.
you beat me to it.
Beat you to it, and then my Siri just went off, so that's pretty random there. All right, let's get into Jose Siri. A foul ball went off his left shin on Sunday. He was in a lot of pain, and the MRI on Monday afternoon revealed that he suffered a fractured tibia. We see these foul balls kind of hitting the players a lot, Doc. So is this a freak accident, or is this something that's kind of like a common injury in baseball?
Yeah, so really unfortunate. I mean, look, obviously it's a sport where you got a ball going near 100 miles an hour, and potentially even faster when it comes off a bat. And these injuries can happen. I think in general this is fairly uncommon. It's just the luck of the draw of where that ball hits happens to hit the tibia, which is that shin bone. And most of the tibia, the back part is covered by a lot of muscle, but that front part is right under the skin. So if you get something hard like a ball hitting it, there is the chance that you could sustain a fracture. But just really unlucky.
We were kind of speaking before this interview, and you work in hockey. You said that this is something that's kind of common in hockey when the puck gets deflected and hits a player.
Absolutely. So, one of the big strategies in hockey defensively is blocking shots. Guys will actually want to get in the way of a puck. And again, some of these slap shots way over 100 miles an hour. And so you do see these injuries. And even with the pads, I mean, hockey players are padded a lot more than baseball players. But even with pads, the puck sometimes finds its way, underneath or in between pads and can hit those bony prominences. And so you have the same kind of workup that you've got to do. You got to make sure that there isn't a fracture.
Call me crazy, but I'm glad that's what I played football because I'd rather get hit by a human than a puck or a baseball. Like I say that all the time. But to go back to Jose Siri, there's currently no timeline for a return. But Carlos Mendoza has said that he expects it to be a wow. As a player, no one wants to hear a wow. So how do you think this fractured tibia is going to have him out for, Doc?
Yeah, well, and again, it's worth mentioning that neither you nor I are privy to any special medical information regarding Siri. But what you can say is this is a different animal than a tibia fracture that might be sustained from somebody, falling, getting in a car accident, where there's a lot of it's non-contact and there's a lot of energy that damages the not just the bone, but the soft tissues around the bone. That would be the muscles and the ligaments. This is a little bit of a different situation. It's a very straightforward impact. It was missed on X-ray, which tells us that the fracture was not displaced. So it's basically what you might call a hairline fracture.
Hmm.
Even with saying that, it's probably something that had to be picked up by the MRI. The issue is that the tibia is a major weight-bearing bone. And, we're talking about an athlete that has to use this to its absolute fullest potential. Because of that, I think, the team and the medical staff, correctly are just being a little bit conservative about giving any timelines out. It's going to respond how it responds. Everyone's a little bit different. Sometimes players, the fracture heals, they're back right at it. They don't really miss a beat. But other times, these things can take a while to heal. And again, because it's that weight-bearing bone and a lot of his special powers are really in his speed, they're going to want him to be, in optimal return condition before he gets back.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because, like, how is this going to affect his special power and his speed when he does get cleared to get back out there and play? Do you think he may lose a step?
Well, again, I think for him, this is the kind of injury that is, you say it's fortunately. I mean, it's obviously unfortunate that it happened at all, but it did not damage additional soft tissue structures. So that means that as soon as the bone is healed and ready to bear weight, he can start a pretty aggressive rehabilitation program. These guys, as you know, at the professional level, I mean, there's usually some sort of, genetic, um, um, benefit that they have that they really are able to recover, put muscle back on, get their speed back probably faster than most of us. So I think ultimately he's going to get back to where he was. I don't think this is a career limiting type of injury, but I think they're just going to have to play it smart and make sure that he's advancing, getting to all the time points that he needs to get to before he actually gets back in a full game.
All right, $1 million question, and we can talk about those who don't have the genetic benefits of a pro athlete. What's their rehab and recovery going to look like if they fractured their tibia?
For most of us.
For most of us, Doc.
Yeah. I mean, listen, again, I want to emphasize this is a little different than a fractured tibia, from a car accident or something like that, where the bone really kind of shatters and cracks and can displace. So for something like this, you're kind of going to go through the same motions. You're going to have a period of non-weight bearing, and this would apply, I think, at the professional athlete level as well. You're going to have a period of non-weight bearing, of protecting the bone. You're going to throw as much as you can in terms of fracture healing stimulation. There are some things out there, and again, this is completely up to the team to decide what they want to use. But there's everything from uh, bone stimulation. You can have ultrasound or electric stim. There are some studies that show there's maybe a potential there. There are some medications that have been shown. There's something called recombinant parathyroid hormone. Some people know it as something called Forteo. Sometimes you can use that. I would say in this case, that would probably be overkill. The mainstay of treatment would be let it heal initially, lay off on the weight bearing. As the pain starts to decrease, start increasing weight bearing. You can do a lot of good work non-weight bearing. So you can do joint movements, you can even do some strengthening. And then once you get to a point where it's not painful, then you can start advancing in terms of, functional strengthening and getting you back to the activities that you want to do.
Great news for people like us. And sorry for taking your Siri joke, Doc, but thank you for hopping on with this.
You got it.